Welcome to the Kimmy and the Cap Show. My name is Captain, and we with the lovely.
My name is Kimmy, aka Divine Fabulosity, and we are here with
What? What's your name?
Divine Fabulosity.
Okay, nice. I didn't know there was all of that going
Surprise,
on.
surprise.
Yeah, and my name is Majah Hype, aka the King of Caribbean Comedy, and I'm here to represent for the culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're back, man. You're back in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Long overdue.
Yes.
You ripped it last night in Ottawa.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank
ripped
you.
it. I was laughing so much my cheeks started to hurt. After massage, in between taking the photos, my cheeks was hurting. Bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely. We good at what we do. That's why they call us the king, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah. When I say us, I'm talking about the 30 people that live inside of me.
Multi-personalities.
That's what's
We
up.
love all of them, and we're here for all of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, last night's show, you killed it, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you for killing it.
Yeah, you know, it's been a long time since I've been on this side of the globe. You know, Ottawa, Montreal, of course, Edmonton on the west side, Alberta, all of those places. It's been a while. So, you know, I come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because why did it take so long? You know? So,
I hear you, bro.
Yeah.
So we want to jump in it, right? We don't got that much time, but you know what I mean? First off, I want to say kudos to you because I see you be giving some pushback when they try to push at you for saying Guyana is not part of the Caribbean.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
first of all, let's just put in perspective that I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Right.
That's number one. So anytime I'm having a conversation, of course I can have a serious conversation, and of course I can have an educated conversation, obviously.
and a jokey one too.
But it's also going to have that comedic influence,
Right.
you know, and that's what I was bringing to that conversation, you know, just with the fact of the whole chicken curry debate that we always been having since, you know, Adam and Eve and stuff like that. So, you know, I was just trying to really bring that, you know, and it also is a fact that you know, Guyana is a country. It's not an island. You understand what I'm saying? And it's located in
The continent.
of South America.
Yeah.
But you know, I guess it wasn't relayed the right way or to those people because everybody else found it funny except for the Guyanese Caribbean.
Yeah.
The Guyanese
Well,
Caribbean.
not all of them. I
Yeah,
thought it was funny.
not all, because there's a lot of Guyanese people who reached out and was like, I don't know why everybody else is so mad. You were saying facts.
Yeah.
So I mean, why were they so upset? But you know, I don't really let those things bother me or my opinion or just the general facts of what we're talking about, because I know that we live in a kind of touchy era.
Yeah.
You know, it's really like sensitive, and you say certain things, people get upset quickly and stuff like that. But that's my job.
Right.
As a comedian, I'm supposed to say the things that everybody else is thinking but not saying. Right? So, I mean, and of course to not be disrespectful with it, but also just have the comedic value of it, right?
Yes.
So that's what I was doing, and you know, I still got nothing but love for Guyana. There's a lot of my friends. Well, I would really say about 80% of my friends are Guyanese.
That's
Right.
what's up.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about my friends' friends, like
Yes.
people,
Day ones.
people I've grew up with, people that I've, you know, got money with, people that I still currently talk to today. You know, I've basically was raised in a Guyanese home. You know, my best friend was Guyanese for so
Was that
many
your
years.
home bite?
Not my home bite. Not my home bite. It was my brother. You know what I'm saying? My brother. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I just continue to move forward and just not let those things bother me. However, I have refrained from doing Guyanese videos. It's not because of what was said, is because of the disrespect and how it was done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, for me personally, I know for a fact that to mainstream America, they didn't have a lot of knowledge of Grenada, Guyana, you know, and all of the other Caribbean cultures. They only really knew about the main Caribbean cultures,
Yeah.
which is Jamaica and maybe Trinidad,
To a lesser extent.
Barbados, because of Rihanna, but they
Right.
didn't know about the St. Vincent, the St. Lucia,
Yep.
the Guyana. Sometimes you tell people you're from Guyana and they think it's in Africa.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Ghana,
I
Guinea.
know that I influenced mainstream America and the people that live abroad, and educated them to know, a difference. And when I mentioned that, they kind of was like, no, you didn't. Like, you didn't do nothing for us. And it was like, oh, I didn't do nothing for y'all. Okay, so since I didn't do nothing, let me continue to not do nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just leave it alone. So I just left it alone.
You know what though? On behalf of Guyanese-born family, we love you.
Absolutely.
You
Like I
do
said, I
the
love them
content
too.
so well.
I appreciate it.
And we thank you so much for all that you've contributed.
Absolutely. And it's just really unfortunate that, it went that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just really sincere
Right.
in fixing the problem, right?
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I reached out to my friends in Guyana that runs the radio station and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, I would like to have a conversation. And, if I need to apologize to the people who took it the wrong way, I'm willing to do so.
Yes.
And I did that.
And how was that?
And I was attacked on the morning show by some guy named Gordon something or whatever. I don't even know his name, but he's supposed to be the guy of Guyana, I guess, in the morning show or something like that.
Does he have a big afro?
I don't know him or how he looks or anything. I just know that I called my friend that runs the station and said, listen, I would like to, sincerely apologize if need be, and just let the people know that I was, just joking or whatever the case may
Right.
be. And when I got on there, he was like, but who is you to tell me this, and who is you, and you's from here, and you thinking that he knows where I'm from or whatever the case may be. He's just blurting out a bunch of ignorance, and I'm just like, okay, well then, you know what? If it's gonna be an attack thing, I'm just gonna just digress and just leave the whole entire Guyanese culture alone. It seems like, really and truly, there's some people of the Caribbean, of the Guyanese culture that would love to have Majah Hype's spot and Majah Hype's influence and the numbers that I got and everything else. And there's some people that really are not that talented that think that I'm the one that's in their way. I'm not in your way. You're in your own way. Because nobody can't be in my way. If I'm Majah Hype, I'm going to do what I have to do. I never wanted another man's spot.
Right.
I always want to create my own spot.
own spot.
You know what I'm saying? But before I started doing comedy, Trabas was there, right? And instead of me going against Trabas and competing with him, we collabed. And we started doing things together, and we started making, so there's these other, I wouldn't even call them comedians, there's these other social media personalities, right? That represents and is from Guyana, that felt like that was an opportunity, to like, oh, let me get at Majah now because we're mad at him. And, even when I went through my situation with my ex, this one dude was just so happy that was happening, and it's just like, okay, so this is.
So they kind of jump on the clout type of thing.
Right.
Okay.
And today I'm still relevant, I'm still here, I'm still doing what I'm doing, I'm still blessed, and I'm still rocking out shows and selling out shows, and they are not.
It's where them there.
It's where
It's where
you skites there. It's where them there. Let's stupid man, let's stupid girl.
I would like to say though, sometimes some people are talented also, but what happens is that's just not your blessing. You're not going to get it like you.
Absolutely.
Right? They might get blessings in family
and this
children
is
and other things,
and this is what,
but not the fame that you get. You know what I mean?
This
and
is the problem that we have within the Caribbean community because it's such a small community.
Right.
So everybody feels like I have to compete or I have to be against when that's not even the case.
Right.
I've never felt like I was against anyone. Even when, let's say, for example, Prince Marnie, who played Susan and he had a big following and all of that stuff. Even when he started to rise in the culture, we collabed. I had Mitzi, he had Susan, we did videos together, it was fun, and we just moved forward. I don't know why there's some people that feel like, okay, I gotta tear somebody else down in order for me to rise, and that is not the case, and that's just unfortunate that people think that. But my journey was groomed for me to be where I'm at. It was a stepping stone for me to be where I'm at. I didn't expect to do comedy. I'm a musician.
That's what I heard.
I'm a musician. I play 7 instruments.
That's amazing.
Right, and my main instrument.
Or went to school.
No, well, my grandfather had a band.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right, and my grandfather is also one of the founders for the Labor Day Parkway Parade.
Okay.
Eastern Parkway Parade in New York. So when I was 8, he used to bring me to like New Year's Eve balls, Christmas balls, summer events, and I would play in front of this big crowd, and everybody was just so amazed that an 8, 9-year-old child was playing the saxophone or the trombone or the trumpet.
And you weren't nervous.
And like I said, it was a part of the journey, right?
Right.
Because all of these things that I've been through has groomed me to be where I'm at today.
Amazing.
I went from being a musician to being an artist to being a producer to being a DJ. I played with a sound called Libre Love Machine. I went from Libre Love Machine to Massive B with Bobby Condas. So and that I traveled all around the world with Bobby. Yeah. And after that I ventured off into comedy and it's just.
And here you are.
Right.
And here you are.
So when people see the process, or they see the fame, or they see the the recognition, they can't look at just what's happening right now. You have to look at the entire journey.
Yeah. Right.
And people feel like, oh well, I could just do what he do. Yeah, you probably can make a video and edit a video.
Right.
You're not gonna be like me on stage. You're not gonna do what I do. You don't have the personality that I have.
You don't have the special sauce.
Exactly. You don't have that. You don't have that chaos drip.
The chaos drip.
You got that chaos drip in you.
Yes.
So can we have some questions for you?
Absolutely.
Sure? Yes. So just circling back to what you were saying about the different Caribbean islands and unity sometimes versus disunity, mix up business. I wanted to know if you personally have experienced what I'm going to say, Caribbeanism, right? Especially as a Caribbean born or a Caribbean New Yorker versus Americans. You know what I mean? Like there's Americans and then there's the Caribbean influenced Americans.
So you're talking about, is there any
Caribbean self-hate you're trying to say?
Within the culture or outside of the culture?
Have you experienced it within the culture yourself?
Well, there's hate in everything.
Okay.
I mean, the same way you have people that praise God, you got people that praise for the devil, right? So, and that's everywhere. That's not just in Caribbean culture or American culture. It's just, it seems like it's more significant in our culture because we have a smaller culture, right?
Okay.
So for example, we're not going to sit here and say Kevin Hart is not hated by Americans. We're not going to sit here and say Mike Epps or Cat Williams is not hated by other Americans. They are, but it's such a big, wide demographic that the little hate may seem whatever, but it's not that. It's not that predominant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about the Caribbean culture, yes, it's a lot of hate within us, and you got to remember we kind of further back behind the American mainstream and the bigger country mainstreams because we're just really like making progress, right? And it's little progress. Although progress is progress, it's little, right? So. We see the Shenseas on Shade Room, and we see her on the Jimmy Kimmel Show or the Late Night Show, and we see, people like Sean Paul doing things. But those are the people who really try to block out the noise. And those are the people that win. The people who block out the noise is the people that win. So when you see me, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm traveling, I'm thinking about the bigger picture.
Right.
For the Caribbean culture. I'm not thinking about the little people that's on Instagram, on a fake page talking negatively. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't bother me. I'm because you clearly don't get it. You know what I'm saying? The person who's on Instagram talking crazy and got a fake page and all of that, they clearly don't get it. So and 9 times out of 10, it's always some people that never travel, don't own a passport. They live in some little shack. Their life is miserable. And they just mad at everybody's success.
Right.
So you can't really pay attention to that. So there's hate in every community, but I mean it's just more predominant for us because we have that crab in the barrel mentality. And if you really think about it, we're on the bottom of the totem pole. There's foreigners that come from all over the world to live in the three big main countries, which is Canada, U.S. and England, right? And these people, they're appreciated and they're accepted by the rest of the big countries, except for us. It's harder for Caribbean people to get a visa. It's harder for us to get a stay. It's harder for us to get a job. It's harder for us to do these things because they don't think about it. Marcus Garvey was Jamaican, right?
Yes.
So that means that there was Caribbean people migrating since the beginning of time, right? So you have Bob Marley, that is one of the biggest names in entertainment. They understood all of his songs. Why they don't understand my accent or your accent or your accent? Why they don't understand it? Because they don't want to. Because you will get somebody that's Russian or German or from Spain that they understand clearly, right? And these people don't even speak English. At least we speak a different dialect, which is broken English.
Right.
We speak patois. We speak all of these broken languages. And you would tell me that you understand me saying, "Boy, give me a Guinness." You wouldn't understand that, but you would understand a Spanish person saying, "Can I have something to drink, please?" So they pick and choose what they want to understand, right? And that's why we're at the bottom of the totem pole, because we're not a necessity to them, So that's the bigger picture that I always see. And I'm like, you know what? The people who don't get it, which is the sheeps or the whoever that is, let the shaky warriors stay where they at. We need some strong soldiers in our army, and that's just what it's about. So
that's why you major.
Yeah, and that's why it's bigger than just comedy for me.
Right.
It's also about that message.
I have a question for you. I've been watching you for a minute now, right? Over 10 years, right? And I found that I didn't find no flaw in any accent that you're representing, right? I think you're spot on with all the countries. But when you're coming up, which country's dialect that you find the hardest? Me, I would say it would be the Bajan accent, right? I would say it would be the Bajan.
Anybody would.
Right, you know what I mean? But what would you say would be the hardest for a long period of time, more than one or two sentences?
I don't think so. I think that maybe the Haitian accent would probably.
Haitian?
Yeah, because Haiti, you got to understand, they don't even speak English, right? So when they come to the States and they learn to speak English, it's a dialogue it's a dialect within itself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to know how to, because for example, let's say we're talking about somebody saying remember. They're not gonna say remember. They're gonna say remember. Remember that you don't belong to this country. So you have to, those things you have to actually. You could have the basis of the accent, but you have to have those things, and that's when I'm emulating a culture, I want to do it to my best ability, right? So even down to the mannerisms, you know what I'm saying? Like even a Haitian to say, you know what I'm saying, or what happened to you, Nick? That hand itself is a part of the culture. You know what I'm saying? So
cameraman is Haitian. He's loving it.
See, there it is. So those things are the things that means a lot to actually emulating a culture. So I really and those things come natural to me because I feel like even with the music, where the music plays a role. I play sheet music, but I also play by ear. Okay. So in order to play by ear, you have to be able to hear something and just redo it right there. So that's
a different talent than just reading music, right?
Because there's some people that is gifted and talented that way where they can't read sheet music because sheet music is something that you have to learn.
Yes, in school you got to go to school to learn that.
Playing by ear is something that's naturally given to you by the Most High. Yes. Right. So even people that can play by ear would still have to probably go to school. To learn how sheet music is and what a bass clef is and what is a minor sign and a major sign. You have to learn those things, but actually just hearing something and saying, okay, this is where it's at. Boom, 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 boom. That's something that you got to just hear it and just know the tones and differentiate the things. So I think that played a big role in me actually grasping the accents and stuff like that.
All right. I know she wants to get to some
speaking of the music, You said that you started off as a musician. You said you play 7 instruments. Were you playing in a band? How were you? Were you in a choir? But
I was playing in my grandfather's band. Yes.
Oh, I did. I thought you were kind of performing, but I didn't know you were
No.
like.
That was my grandfather's band.
Okay,
yes.
so
And
how
my
many
grandfather
years?
is the one who taught me how to play the instruments. And I've been doing that for years, until maybe high school, probably.
And then high school, you started the DJing.
Right.
Okay, and then DJing, you transferred into the sketch comedy or the reality comedy. That's what you call it.
Yeah. Well, I've always been a comedian, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
what, that's
Life
what I
generally going to be
professionally
funny.
took it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but that when I took it professionally when I got laid off from work. So I'm actually by trade electrical engineer.
Really?
Yeah, so I was working for mass transit and stuff like that, and I got laid off. And when I got laid off, that's when I started doing the skits.
Yeah.
And then about 2 or 3 years later, they called me back to work. I worked for about a week. And I just felt like I was letting down the culture. I just felt like we need this.
I hear you.
So I can go back to my 6-figure job and live a good life, but this is more important. This is what we need more. So I quit my job and went that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
The cameraman had a question, right?
Yes.
You wanted to know when you started to really buzz and started to get a little paper and you started going on the road and stuff like that, right? It's a relationship kind of question. How hard it was, or if it was hard, right, to stay disciplined because, the ladies start coming and the temptations and all that stuff, to be on the road. He's an artist himself. Being on the road and, women.
That lifestyle.
The lifestyle.
I wasn't really in a relationship at the time. I mean, I was, but I really wasn't.
When you first started.
Yeah. So, and plus, like I said, it was a journey that was getting me ready for it. So, like I said, I've never had a problem with being in the public eye. From I was 8. People, there's older women that was like, oh my God, you're so cute, dude. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can play music, it's so nice. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. So I never really had a problem with attention. I think that people who experience fame and stuff like that, they never really got that attention. That's why they reckless on the road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They
Particularly.
reckless on the road because that's not what they used to. So now that they have a little attention or they have a little fame or whatever, now it's like, oh, now the gal them want me. Let me take advantage of
everything.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's it's all good or whatever the case may be. But I feel like if you value yourself as a man. Like for me, I'm in a relationship now, and my wife don't got nothing to worry about because I value me, right?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I'm not accessible to everybody just because you look good or you got a fat ass or you might seem freaky or whatever the case may be. That doesn't float my boat, right? So at the end of the day, because And any man that's out there could tell you, like, if they value themselves and they see themselves as a high value man, you would know that sex is deeper than just sex. It's also a spiritual connection. It's also body fluids being exchanged. It's, you collecting people's spirits, really, you know what I'm saying? So you really don't want to be doing that all over the place like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I didn't have my time.
A little fun. You had a little fun.
I had my time, you know what I'm saying? But it took me time to get to understand that and to know that as well, because you're taking on different energies and stuff like that. Energy transfer is real. You know what I'm saying? So you put somebody in your bedroom or you put somebody in your bed and you indulging with them like that, you could be taking on their crosses.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could be taking on their karma.
Yeah.
All of those things. So, when you really understand that, you kind of like value yourself a little different, because I feel good when I turn down people. I ain't gonna lie. It's a good
But it
feeling.
gets easier with age too, right? And
I
you're
don't
used
know
to
if
it now.
I
like
really
this
don't.
on the road.
I really don't put age into perspective, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because everybody matures differently. There's some 50-year-old little boys out here.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
there's some 25-year-old grown men out here as well.
Right.
So I don't really put numbers or age when it comes to those things. I just believe it's your mindset. You know what I'm saying, and your maturity and where you're at. You know what I'm saying, as a young boy, there's 30-year-olds right now that's not gonna cheat on their wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's 50-year-old men who's still out here playing games.
Right.
So I don't really put number on it, but I just know that it's a mindset thing.
I hear you.
You know.
Wow, I really appreciate you saying that because we live in such a sexualized culture.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody pum pum, jam it up, ram it up, scam it up, dig out the hole and all this other stuff. But nobody speaks on that spiritual side, and that's so important.
I mean, you know, we live in a time of instant gratification. So people don't respect courting and dating and stuff like that. And I tell women all the time that women make it bad for other women.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I have 7 women at a bar, there's 5 out of the 7 that's gonna go home with me and fuck me tonight. You know what I'm saying? And then when I meet somebody of value and standard that really is like, nah, I'm not gonna give you this tonight.
Yeah.
It really makes you look like the minority now because it's like everybody else is giving me the pum pum. Why you not giving it to me? Like something wrong with you? Like you think you that fly? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know, it happens that way. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's bad, and we gotta start putting the women of value and the women with standard back on the top.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And stop putting it in y'all mind that y'all think the BBL girls is winning. They really not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If anything, y'all giving them the attention that they want, not us. Because most men love a natural woman. You know, I respect our melanin so much because, you know, not every man wants a fat ass or a big breast or a gal with hips and this and that. We are the only culture that you could find whatever you want within this culture.
Yeah.
You could find a slimmers, you could find a thickas, you could find a fluffy, you could find something with a nice body, with a nice small breast, you could find something with big breasts, you could find, you know, you could find so much, but now the narrative has been changed so much that everybody's going to the doctor to get this tailor-made look.
Right.
So now it's like everybody has veneers, everybody has this frontal lace front, everybody has this shape, you know, and people, and it's crazy because people are willing to die for this.
Yeah.
People are willing to go on the table and literally die for this look. It's not people. There's more people that go to plastic surgeons than they go to their OGBYN or their gynecologists or their dermatologists or their dentists. You know, people are going to do more surgery than that nowadays. So, you know, having a sexy body and walking around with chlamydia is not a thing.
No, thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you a question about just the business in general, right? What I personally don't like about the business, because the record labels, the movie companies, right? They've always been a step ahead of us, right? Raping us for our talent, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So now you come in at a time where you've given us so much content in like the last 12 years, more than like people who's been in stand-up comedy for like 30 years, since the 80s, right? And most of it was given away for free on the YouTube, right? How are you finding it now to monetize your art, right? Being that you gave away so much, right? And now you're still trying to do art and monetize it and make it for your living.
It's still evolving.
How are you finding it, you know, ways to do it and, you know,
so let's start
and make a living for yourself?
Let's start with the rape thing. Were they really raping us?
We were uneducated about the finer points of the business, right?
Whose fault is that?
Partially ours.
No, it's all our fault. It's not partially our fault.
Because I would say the devious intention would be the label itself.
The only thing that I could say when it comes to that is the segregation of it, right? The people getting the equal opportunities, right? Red Fox didn't get the same opportunity that Sinatra got or whoever got. That's the only thing that I would really point out. But raping us, they didn't rape us, bro. If I give you a piece of paper and this paper says this and you don't understand a couple words on it and you sign it, that's on you. You didn't do your due diligence. So at the end of the day, you can't say that you're raping. I mean, there is people that got raped.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you agree with a little bit.
However, you have to do your own due diligence to not let that happen to you, right? For example, let's say back in the days, let's say when like, I'm just going to throw a name out there, Gregory Isaac and Dennis Brown and these people, when they were recording songs, they thought that the business was, okay, the producer has a rhythm, he's gonna pay me to sing, but they didn't know about copyrights and royalties and all those things, right? So
you already know. Welcome to the King of the Castle. Everything under the castle. You can call it the Queen. You're always blasted late. All the time. You're always late. Half an hour now I've been waiting on you. Come on.
Oopsie.
Welcome to the Kim and the Cap Show. Everything under the sun wrapped up in the capsule. You can call her the queen, you can call me an asshole. Pull out your arguments with the verbal lasso.
Yo!
Wait up, hold a minute. Take out your emotion, let's put some facts in it. No skin, teeth, smile, chuckle, or even grinning. We both play second to none, so who's winning? Who's winning? Who's winning? Who's winning?
Yo, what Ross is this?